my welcome also. Glad you're all here for this very special day in MMPA's history. But I have the honor, boy, I'm screwing up already, the honor of introducing a very special guest this morning. We are pleased to have Governor Rick Snyder join us as we celebrate our 100th anniversary today. As we know, Governor Snyder is a strong supporter of Michigan agriculture. He travels the globe spreading the word about Michigan's food and agriculture products. Governor Snyder recently proclaimed March as Michigan Food and Agriculture Month, thanking farmers for providing the food we eat and acknowledging agriculture's work as a cornerstone of Michigan's reinvention. The governor continues to work on behalf of the people of Michigan, including the dairy industry. Please join me in welcoming Governor Rick Snyder.
Thank you, Ken. Appreciate it. That's great. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. It's great to be with you today. It's exciting. 100 years. Congratulations. None of you look that old. The other part I really did appreciate that brings the legacy of the 100 years was coming in here today as they got you to gather back in this room. I thought it was absolutely wonderful to hear the cowbell going. I couldn't think of a more fitting way to call people to a meeting, so I appreciate that. I do want to start by thanking you, in particular, for your contributions to Flint. You and Kroger have both been good donors of water and resources to Flint, so thank you for your assistance there. Obviously, I'm not a dairy farmer. I am a dairy consumer, though, and I'm proud of that. I thought I would share one issue with you that I face almost every day. When I start my morning, I started actually with a discussion with Dugan. And the main point is that I'm a Battle Creek boy. So cereal is central to my life still today. So I start my day each day quite often having a discussion with Dugan, who is our dog. And it's really about who gets to share the remaining milk in my bowl each day and how we divvy that up between the two of us. So I'm a proud consumer of your products in that context and many others. But it's great to be with you. You should be so proud. 100 years, and in particular being a member organization. That says something special. In terms of the state of Michigan and how all this plays together, we should be proud. We're making tremendous progress in the state of Michigan. One thing that I was able and proud to announce this week is our unemployment rate actually went below the national average. Our economy is strong in this state and still growing. That hadn't happened for years. We had one other month recently, but you have to go back over a decade to find when we could be in the position to say our unemployment's lower than the rest of the country on average. One of the reasons for that, though, is you're one of the big three industries in our state. Because I tell people the role of government isn't to create jobs. We create the environment for success. You actually do the hard work. And if you look at the big three industries in our state, my view is people always talk about automotive and manufacturing. That's on the list. Tourism, but agriculture. It's critically important to our state. And you've brought so much success to all of us during the lost decade and through today. And I'm counting on you for the future, and I know you'll be there, given the great outcomes and results you're seeing. A couple things I can't control with respect to your industry are market prices and weather. And I know you have occasional challenges on those issues. But beyond that, it's about how we partner together to continue to make the state strong. The ag industry is critically important to Michigan. I was proud to see it during my time as governor. We've passed the $100 billion mark in terms of the size of the food and ag industry in our state. That's absolutely incredible, and we're setting new goals all the time. And milk is an important component of that. You're one of the major value-added players that we have in that industry, in this important industry. And there are two or three topics that always come up in terms of the role of ag, in terms of key issues that I try to focus in on. Research and development, innovation is one, value-added processing is another, and exporting is a third. Those are three key drivers, in addition to those forces I can't control, that we can all work together on. And you should be so proud of the innovation, the research and development, the innovation that you've done in this industry. It's absolutely incredible. Look at the productivity that you find with a cow today compared to what it was in the past. It's mind-boggling. And the new processes in terms of robotics coming into play, all the other issues. You should be so proud. You are leading. And that's something we need to promote much more. The average citizen does not appreciate how you're on the technological edge of innovation in our country. We need to talk more about that, and people need to appreciate that and understand the leading edge you're on. The second thing is value-added processing. How do we take these products and turn them into value-added products that, again, can bring higher margins, more opportunity, more reinvestment? And again, this is the opportunity that you've done so well, and you're continuing to do things. Butter, powdered milk, all these other products that create opportunities. Not just to sell more to Michiganders, but to sell to the world, and that ties into more export opportunity. And I'm proud to say as I go on these trade missions around the world, particularly to Asia and Europe, one of the key topics is agriculture. And we've got a great director in Jamie Clover Adams. She's been a great partner about promoting that. I'm proud to get out there and pound the table and talk to them about powdered milk, other opportunities. One in particular I always like to joke about, because it's a personal favorite, is in addition to milk, is blueberries. One of the things I still want to work on, and I have a quest personally in Michigan, is to find a continuing quest to find more and more blueberry ice cream. Because I like to combine #1 in blueberries with a milk product. So I'm still on that quest. So if you have any leads, let me know. But if you think about it, that's how you show success, is innovation, value-added processing, and then selling to the rest of the world. Because those of us in Michigan clearly appreciate the products you make. They're critical to us, but how do we share that benefit with everyone else? So that's the focus that I want to continue to work with the milk industry on, with you as members, with the entire ag industry. In the context of statewide efforts that we can bring this all together, though, there are good things going on that I encourage you to have an interest in following this year in particular. Again, we have major challenges. We have issues in Flint and Detroit with education. But I talked about creating 3 commissions in the state that can make a huge difference, not just in the short term, but for the long term. One is Infrastructure Commission. Again, we spent a lot of time in the last few years talking about roads, but this is where we do need to talk about water and sewer, pipelines, natural gas, all these other efforts, broadband. To your industry, broadband is going to only be more and more important. The access to have data, the access to communicate. These are issues that I hope you want to be engaged with. And so there's going to be a 21st Century Infrastructure Commission that's going to be focusing on not just today, but where would we go over the next 50 years and longer in terms of strengthening Michigan? Because that's fundamental. We need these transportation networks. We need all these networks for long-term economic success. The second one is the 21st Century Education Commission. We do need to update how we do things. To be successful in today's world, you need additional skills. You need additional training. You know that. People don't appreciate all the things you have to know to be successful in what you're doing today. In terms of the innovations, they require a more knowledge base. In terms of how you leverage technology. How many of you would go out there without your smartphone? Or a laptop or a tablet in some fashion nowadays? Many of you wouldn't leave home without it. Again, we need to help people have the skill sets and resources to use those tools effectively, and this is where we need to have people understand it's not just about getting everybody to get a university degree, but how do we actually do more career tech education to give people more opportunities to be skilled in a trade, including agriculture. Too often we skip over that. One of the highest tech jobs you can have today is in the field you're in. And again, we need people to understand that more. I encourage you to speak up about where you see it going and what skill sets people need and how we can encourage young people to make a career decision to follow on that path. It was great to have FFA here today. The other day I found a couple of 4-H young people wandering around the Capitol. I was able to point them in the right direction, but I was excited to see them here in Lansing. Because that's our future. So we need to engage in education. The third commission is to actually take the output of the first two and then put it in a big umbrella. It's the 21st century economy. How do we bring all these things together? Because industries are evolving. They are changing. Think about the vast changes you've seen in terms of, again, the whole process of milking a cow, of where that product goes and what it becomes, and then who buys it and how it's bought. We also have the same issue. One illustration I'm using for all Michiganders is the auto industry. In 20 or 30 years, it won't be the auto industry, folks. It's going to be the mobility industry. It's not going to be about the vehicle you own. It's how you go from point A to point B. And we need to be on the front edge of that. We should be celebrating the great success in ag and tourism and manufacturing we have today. But let's not be short-sighted and say we're just going to keep on doing the same old thing. Let's think for the future and say this is where we're at today. That means we have the resources to make that next step evolution, that innovation, to make sure we can lead the world in all these fields. That's what I hope you help cover in meetings like this, in your annual meeting. I love the comment, this is the only time you're going to celebrate this meeting, 100 years. But I'm sure if you look around this room, there's going to be another meeting in another 100 years, but it's going to be the 200th. And the question is how do you make sure that your kids and your kids' kids, the people of the future, have all the resources and tools, and that's what this commission process is all about. Infrastructure, education, and then combining them together into an economic engine of success with great quality of life. Because that's one of the reasons I believe you're doing what you're doing. It's not just about making money or making a living. There's a quality of life aspect to it that you respect, that's important to you, and you want to maintain. How do you continue on that path to watch it evolve so you can get the best benefits of innovation in the future and keep the best benefits of family, of relationships, and friendships? So have a great meeting. Enjoy this process. The last thing I'd like to do, though, is actually ask Ken to come up for a minute. This is one of the nice things you get to do as governor. What I'd like to do is present to you kind of a birthday proclamation. So I'd like to present this to you, Ken, to your entire organization, all your members, but congratulations on 100 years.
Well, thank you very much.